On this week's Rambler Sports Locker, the men's basketball team suffered a heartbreaking loss to MVC co-leader Illinois State on February 19th. RSL reporter Henry Redmond analyzes how the Ramblers performed on senior night against Drake University.
Also, the men's volleyball team won both of their matches this week, rising to the 9th spot in the AVCA poll. Welcome back to another edition of the Rambler Sports Locker. I'm Diana Durr.
And I'm Claire Philby. The men's basketball team's first opposition came in a tough form in a battle against Illinois State, but wound up 2 points short of a victory. The Ramblers got off to a rocky start, making only one of its first 9 field goal attempts. The Redbirds didn't let up in the first half, putting them in the lead heading into the half. During the second period, the Ramblers focused heavily on defense, in which in turn reciprocated to the Ramblers outscoring the Redbirds during this half. The last 5 minutes of the game was nail-biting when Dante Ingram recorded a three-pointer, putting the Ramblers ahead of the Redbirds by 1 point. Jackson and Doyle were able to rack up 5 points to tie the game at 63 even. With seconds left on the clock, the Ramblers had no choice but to commit a foul, which sent Redbird player Deontay Hawkins into the free throw line, where he knocked down both points. This led to a Redbird victory over the Ramblers, 65-63.
The men's basketball team had their final home game of the season last night against Drake University. RSL reporter Henry Redmond has the breakdown of the Ramblers' opposition versus the Drake Bulldogs.
It was senior night last night in Gentile Arena as the Ramblers took on Drake University. The first half went back and forth with the Bulldogs opening the game shooting well from outside. But early on, Loyola was having an easy time scoring inside, especially forward Andre Jackson. The Ramblers would finish with 48 points in the paint compared to Drake's 22. The teams would head into the locker room separated by just 1 point with the score at 33-32. The Ramblers pulled away in the second half with a flurry of scoring, going on a 15-2 run to start the second half and icing the game with an 11-3 run. Throughout the season, head coach Porter Moser has said his team's offense relies on ball movement, and last night the Ramblers were moving it well. The team finished the game with 20 assists, including these dimes from junior Dante Ingram and senior Milton Doyle. It only makes sense that on senior night the Ramblers would be led by their star player Doyle. The guard flirted with the triple-double, finishing with 16 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds. The Ramblers would win easily 80-65. Loyola had 5 players finish in double digits: Doyle, Ingram, Jackson, Ben Richardson, and Cameron Satterwhite. The win moves the Ramblers to 8-9 in the Valley and earns Loyola a bye into the MVC tournament quarterfinals on March 3rd. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Henry Redmond. Over to you, Diana.
Thanks, Henry. Loyola's Jesuit community hosted their annual Jesuit Jam event at the men's basketball game. RSL reporter Jasmine Marcos tells us why this year's event is about doing good and bringing it to the important issue of undocumented students.
The Loyola Jesuit community held their annual Jesuit Jam this past Wednesday night in Gentile Arena. The Jesuit Jam is a tradition held at Loyola that invites students to cheer on the men's basketball team alongside the Jesuits of the university. The night included Jesuit-themed trivia during timeouts, free t-shirts for students, and an after-party hosted by the Jesuits.
My favorite part of Jesuit Jam, I think the spirit of the basketball game is really great. I don't go to a lot of the basketball games, but this one is definitely very spirited and very energetic.
The community building tradition has been going strong for 17 years.
It's a tradition where we come together and around the men's basketball game and afterwards celebrate kind of just being a Jesuit-inspired, educated people, you know?
Even though there's a large emphasis on the excitement of the event, the Jesuits hope to impart their passion for service and other Jesuit values.
So the main highlights of this event, I would say, are number one, the basketball game. So we bring high energy. And one of our mantras as Jesuits is finding God in all things. So even in a basketball game, we could find God. And the energy in the room was just so positive, you know? And the idea is that we could channel that energy for something good. And this year, we're raising money for undocumented students for scholarships. So we're selling T-shirts. that's part of channeling that energy towards something good and something positive.
Gentile Arena was extra Jesuit lit this year thanks to the Ramblers' victory over Drake in their last home game of the season. For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Jasmine Marcos.
The men's basketball game against Drake also served as senior night. The men's basketball team celebrated star Milton Doyle and guard Glorin Leisha. RSL reporter Trisha McCauley sat down with Milton Doyle, who made an impact on the basketball program since the start of its freshman year, in this week's Athlete Profile.
Senior men's basketball guard Milton Doyle says he has been playing basketball for as long as he can remember. When it came time to move his basketball career to the collegiate level, Doyle chose Loyola University Chicago because it was close to home.
Being a Chicago school, I wanted to come back home and have my family be able to come to the games.
But Doyle's chapter at Loyola is coming to an end.
I don't think anything will really hit me until after the season's over. Can't really describe in words what it's been like. It's been a great feeling to change something and be a part of something special.
Doyle says his favorite thing about playing for Loyola was the fans and the friendships he made with his teammates. Making quite the impact at Loyola, this year Doyle was the only player to rank in the top 5 in scoring and assists in the Missouri Valley Conference. He reached 1,000 points during his junior year, and Doyle's most memorable moment at Loyola was when he shot the game-winning buzzer beater versus Bradley University at Loyola's first appearance in the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament, Arch Madness. As Doyle prepares for his final tournament appearance this year, he says he wants to go all the way.
Just want to win, want to leave with a ring, go to the NCAA tournament. That's the only thing to do at this point, so I'm trying to do whatever it takes to get to that point.
Doyle graduated in December with a communications degree, but doesn't want to start working right away and hopes to continue playing basketball.
The NBA, but if not there, anywhere. I'm just happy I'm still playing basketball right now.
For the Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Trisha McCauley.
The men's volleyball team was looking to improve its record after playing Fort Wayne and Ball State this past week. On February 16th, the Ramblers hosted the Fort Wayne Macedones and defeated them in 3 of the 4 matches. The Macedones were strong from the start, but once Loyola got on a roll, they couldn't be stopped. On multiple occasions, the Macedones got ahead of the Ramblers, but back-to-back kills from Colin Mahan began a Ramble run, followed by Ben Plastid, who also helped Ramblers reclaim the lead. The Ramblers were led by Colin Mahan with 19 kills and Ben Plastid, who followed with 17 kills. They won 3-1 and moved to 4-1 in MIVA play. On February 18th, number 11th ranked Ball State challenged number 10 Loyola Ramblers in Gentile Arena. The first game was evenly played by both teams. The Cardinals could not handle kills from Mahan and Plastid, which led the Ramblers to annihilate Ball State in the second game with a whopping score of 25-11. The Ramblers took the third set, and Mahan got the game-winning kill in all 3 games. Ramblers take the win 3-0 with this victory over Ball State in Gentile Arena. It extended the Ramblers' home win streak over the Cardinals to 19 games. Loyola swept weekly MIVA awards this past week. Colin Mahan was named MIVA Offensive Player of the Week, and Jeff Jendrick was named as MIVA Defensive Player of the Week. For the season, Jendrick leads in hitting percentage, service aces, and blocks. For Mahan, this is his second honor this season. The Ramblers take on crosstown rival, the Lewis Flyers, who are ranked 5th in the AVCA polls on February 24th in Gentile Arena at 7 p.m.
The men's and women's track and field teams set many personal and team bests at the Alex Wilson Invitational at the University of Notre Dame on February 18th. For the men's team, freshman Eric Burns won his 4th consecutive long jump leap with a leap of 7.25 meters. Junior Samuel Urban took 4th overall in the 400-meter dash with a time of 48.52 seconds. This time earned him an 8th spot in Loyola's all-time indoor 400-meter dash record board. Junior Alex Baker recorded a personal best mile time of 4 minutes and 9.35 seconds, placing 8th overall and earning himself the 6th spot on the conference leaderboard.
For the women's team, sophomore Natasha Simmons and freshman Danae Lawrence both recorded new personal best times in the 60-meter dash. Simmons crossed the finish line at 7.78 seconds, and Lawrence was right behind her, coming in at 7.83 seconds. Lawrence sprinted into her next event, which was a 200-meter race, where she recorded a time of 25.46 seconds. This time ranks her in the 9th place for the 200-meter race in Loyola history. This invitational was extremely competitive, consisting of athletes from UCLA, LSU, Texas University, University of Michigan, Purdue, Notre Dame, and other big schools across the United States. Although the Ramblers did not win any events at this invitational, many personal records were beat. Track and field head into the 2017 Missouri Valley Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships, February 25th and 26th of the UNI Dome in Cedar Falls, Iowa.
The women's basketball team continued their struggles against UNI this past week. On February 17th, the women's basketball team fell short to the Panthers, losing 89-43. Tiara Wallace led the Ramblers with 10 points. On February 19th, the team faced another loss against Drake, 84-42. Katie Salmon led the team with 14 points. These two losses brought the team's record to a total of 2-23 and 1-13 in the MVC play. The Ramblers are still fighting for a win. Their next chance for a victory will be on February 24th when they travel to Wichita, Kansas to take on Wichita State at 7 p.m.
For our full episodes and the chance to get in on the conversation, follow and like our social media handles for an up-to-date look at all things Rambler Sports.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Claire Philby.
And I'm Diana Durr. Check back next week for another episode of the Rambler Sports Locker.
And always, don't forget to turn out the lights.